Today we're at Ringwood State Forest in northern New Jersey. I've heard so many things about how chunky this place is, and I've always wanted to come here. So today I'm going to be following a pretty big Trail Forks route that I found that should hopefully get a lot of the greatest hits at this place. All right, so all told, this loop is like 17 miles and over 2,000 feet of climbing. I might cut out a couple miles at one part, depending on how difficult this is and how long I'm taking. To start out this ride, I parked at the Ryerson Middle School lot and climbed about 200 feet to get to the Erskine Lookout Trail. Up here you get a pretty nice opening into the forest and begin to descend down towards the Six Bridges Loop. This trail has some nice winding corners with some rock faces in the turns, which makes for a cool trail. The Six Bridges Loop is not one you want to miss if you want to get some action and airtime. I was totally surprised by the features in this small section and needed to scope them out a bunch before riding them. Whoa, that is big. First up, there was this massive skinny log ride that was a couple feet in the air, but actually super easy to ride since it was pretty wide. Was not expecting that. Freaking Squamish out here in New Jersey. More woodwork. After the huge skinny, you come up to two technical rock drops. The first one being more of a rock booter, and the second being a sketchy, slow speed plop into a messy rock garden of doom. Both equally fun and a great reason to ride this small loop. That was intense. Went a tad bit slower than I wanted there. From the Six Bridges Loop, I got onto a trail called Renegade, which was a much higher speed section where you can go pretty flat out. There's some decent little drops as you zoom along, and even this interesting hip jump sort of thing off to the side here. I didn't exactly get as much air off of it as I had hoped, but oh well. Soon enough I was climbing the longest climb of the day, about 450 feet up to the crossover trail that would take us down towards the Ramapo Knob. Alright, dropping into the biggest downhill of the day. The crossover trail featured some amazing rock work, but it didn't have as much of a downhill feel as I was anticipating. Rider be warned, you definitely have to put down some power to get through this descent if you want to keep any semblance of flow as you traverse down the hillside. As I got closer to the Ringwood Ramapo Knob, I of course found a tough skinny to try before we got into the real meat and potatoes of this ride. Not only did this skinny get skinnier as you go, but the tail end of it looked wet, so I should have brought my moist meter to make sure this skinny was safe to ride. Got scared of how wet that looked. Alright, so currently we're about 7 miles in 2 hours, and I just got to the top of Warm Puppy, which is going to be pretty close to the car where we parked at the elementary school. I think I'm going to change up the plan and just go do an out and back along the Ramapo Ringwood Knob Trail or whatever. It's the closest Black Diamond trail, and I want to find the hard stuff. Hopefully there's some more rock rolls around. Kind of thought that there would be more like in Sterling Forest. But yeah, we're going to head that way. It's going to be like 2 miles out and then 2 miles back, and then we're going to finish heading towards the car over there for about a mile. All right, this is looking like a pretty directional trail right now. And I'm going the wrong way. This is a chunk. So yeah, I would not recommend riding the Ringwood Ramapo Knob Trail backwards. It is definitely possible, but it would require a ton of energy to make these moves. I didn't even make it to the actual beginning of the Knob Trail, so instead I turned around when Trail Forks said I was at the highest point. Ringwood Tech is no joke, and now we get to ride down some of its best natural rock features. That felt like a rim and a half. After conquering some intense chunk on the knob, you get some more with a hit of exposure on Warm Puppy. This trail was a must ride according to regular guy mountain biking, and I would agree. Warm Puppy will give you this sweet lookout on the rocks and take you down about 200 feet towards the middle school with some serious rocks that actually have a little bit of flow to them. Ringwood is a fantastic trail system, and I know I didn't even ride a quarter of it when you can connect it into Ramapo. I was super impressed to see how detailed the trail work was when it seemed like you were in the middle of nowhere in a never-ending rock garden. I'll definitely be coming back here someday to explore more of the area, but hopefully it'll be a much cooler day. Alright, I severely underestimated that whole ride. Only did 10 miles and it took 3 hours. About 1,700 feet of climbing. But Jesus. Ringwood is brutal, just like everyone says. Who would have thought? But definitely one of the chunkiest places I've ever ridden. Very similar to Roth Rock in how chunky the descents are and kind of like false flatty they feel. But hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. And remember, stay adventuring, my friends.